Hello everyone, and welcome to this video. Today is going to be a post this here video. So I've picked out some items as usual, and let's have a look. So the first item is copper clad boards. Copper clad boards, and these are of course useful for making your own PCBs, which I don't know if any of you have seen. Hopefully you have. I did a little series on, I think it was a two-part series on how to make your own PCBs, and of course this is critical. You need copper clad boards, and these ones they are wafer thin. The copper on them is so thin, and you could say that that's not really good quality, and you can see that I've bowed a little bit as well. You could say that that's poor, but in reality you don't really need super thick copper, and if you do use super thick copper then it makes it harder to etch. So yeah, advantages and disadvantages I suppose. Anyway, so copper clad boards, that's the first thing in this post is here. And it looks like I bought 10 of them, did I? Something like that, 10, pretty good chunk, and no doubt I got those cheap, but we'll soon find out. Next thing, I got these. I got two of these. Well, what are they called? Segments. I seem to remember they're called segments. If they're not called that, then I'll of course tell you what they are in the video. But yeah, you can see they look quite good quality. There are 12 pins. It looks like they're set in some sort of resin or something. I think that's to make it waterproof, but yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, so I don't know a great deal about these. I have used them before when I first started this channel. I did actually use them. I'm not sure if I've done a tutorial on them or not. If I haven't, I'll have to do it. But yeah, it's quite fun because you, of course, to make the number 1, you basically turn those ones on this one here, and turn those ones off. So that's red, it says 1. To use the point you just turn it on, and then to use a 9 you block out those, of course. I'm sure you know you get the idea. And then 6 you block out that one. Yeah, pretty cool. So that's the next item, and like I said, I've got 2 of those. So I don't know what I'll use those for. Usually beginners use these to make voltmeters and that sort of thing. Anyway, that's that. Next thing, we've got this. Now what is this? It's a kit, of course, but kit for what? I won't pull it all out, I'll just look at the board. So to start with, it's a good quality board. And what does it say? So there's space for SMT resistors. Oh, it's good because I need to practice SMT. A load of 1K SMT resistors. That's the symbol for diode, all that's messed up because of the drillings there. But they are LEDs. NE555, which is a timing circuit. And then we've got 1 UF, which is microfarad, a 10K and a 2K resistor. A 50K, well, it's a resistor, so it's no doubt a potentiometer. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it's a potentiometer. CD4B17, I haven't got a clue what that is. And there's another one there, 1 microfarad capacitor. Now, if I'd not have looked at the description beforehand, I wouldn't know what this is. However, I do know what this is. It's an LED flow kit. So basically you make the LEDs flow. And really it's not a functional thing, it's just a thing to play about with, really. It's just a kit to, I don't know, enhance your skills. And I guess you, if you're exposed to these chips, NE555 and this one, I suppose you're going to learn what they are and how they work and whatever. Anyway, so that's the next item, and it's a kit, of course. What's the next item? The next item is this. Now I'm going to zoom in a bit more now. So the next item is this, and this is L7812CV. When you get kits like this, generally speaking, you can tell what they are by the chip that's on them. So of course this one I knew it was something to do with timing because he was in NE555, so there's something to do with timing. And of course that comes in where the LEDs have a certain timing in order to glow. Anyway, so going back over to this, I can see L7812CV, and that's, I assume, this is a buck converter, which is a DC-DC step-down converter. So I'll have to have a look at the specs because I don't know the exact specs, but usually it's something like you'd put in a certain voltage range in here and it will reduce down to whatever you set it to. However, I can't see any potentiometer on this, so I don't know exactly, maybe I'm not right, I don't know. Usually you have a potentiometer, but I can actually see diodes, so I am getting a little bit confused now. 4 diodes, that looks like a bridge rectifier. Do we have any other indicators here? No, we don't, not really. Well, anyway, it looks like a buck converter, but we'll see. What on earth is that? What are these headers for? So yeah, I think it's a buck converter, but we'll soon see anyway. And the last item is, I'm quite excited about these ones. Let's rip it open. These are, of course, little capacitors, and they've been stud welded on the side there. So what are the specs? Usually written on the side. So it's a CDA, 5.5 volts, 1 Farad. 1 Farad. Anyway, that's or they are the items for today's posters here. Now let's find out where I got them from. Okay, in no particular order, let's go through the listings. So, first one, 10 pieces, one side copper clad single PCB circuit board kit, blah blah blah. 2013 Best Buy Best, and I paid £3.45. But I think I got 2 kits. I think I got 20 pieces maybe. So there's not a great deal to say about these things really. It says here if you get a few fingerprints you can clean by superfine steel wool restore full, whatever that means. So yeah, it doesn't really say a great deal about them, and I'm not really surprised, they're just boards. The next item is L7812 Stepdown, 14.5 to 35 to 12. Okay, that's why there's no potentiometer, because it's fixed output at 12 volts, and that's set by this chip here from Brightly. Anyway, so £1.5 from Module Me. Now, the 4 diodes, that still puzzles me a little bit, because that's the sort of thing a bridge rectifier would have. So why would a buck converter, an ordinary buck converter, need 4 diodes like that? I don't really know. I was expecting there to be some info here. Maybe you can feed some low power AC through it or something like that. I'm not sure why you'd have 35 volts AC though, so I don't really know. But basically £1.5 from Module Me. The next item was the DIY kit production LED flow thing for 99p from Goddess Call. 99p. And it's not really very useful. It's just well, basically you see a flow through the LEDs. That's all it is. But it's cool for practice. The next thing is 2 pieces, 0.56 inch, 3-digit, 7-segment common cathode red LED display, and it's a 99p from Cayenne 35, which I buy a lot of stuff from that seller. And what does it say? Nothing. But okay. I'd need to find the model number, which I think I can see it there anyway. Then in order to use it, I'd have to probably work it out ideally using the documentation for it. But yeah, pretty cool thing. Now the next thing is the 2 5.5 volt 1 farad capacitors, super capacitor double layer capacitor UK. And this is £1.10 for the set of 2 from Leisure Good, that's the seller. You can see a few photos there. Is there a description? That would be interesting if there's a description. So I don't really understand everything about capacitors. What I do know is that 1 farad is 1 coulomb at 1 volt. And of course, a volt is an electrical, well, unit of electrical pressure. That's how I usually explain it. So 1 coulomb at 1 volt, and a coulomb roughly is 1 amp for a second. Yeah, it's a magnitude of current, if you like, over time. So yeah, 1 amp for 1 second. So you could say that 1 farad is 1 amp for 1 second at 1 volt. But what I don't know is what implications are there of charging it more than 1 volt, say 2, 3, 4, 5 or 5.5 volts. What are the implications of that? I don't think it changes the capacity. Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, I suppose this is material for another video, really, like messing about with this capacitor and finding out. Because obviously if you have a higher voltage with the same capacity, well, I mean, I don't really know, I'm just messing about. Yeah, like I said, this will be material for another video. I'll have to play about with this and find out exactly how it works. But I'm under the impression that the same capacitor with a higher voltage will of course be more power, if you like. Well, I'm not sure if power is the right word, but more, whatever the word is, for more voltage. Anyway, so the reason I mention that is because the standard measurement of 1 farad is based off, 1 second, 1 volt and 1 amp. So yeah, just an interesting thing. Anyway, so yeah, if I didn't already say, this is £1.10 from Leisure Good. And that's everything for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.